Hello again, everyone. Edwin Leonard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Mercury square or opposition the midheaven in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in a natal chart. They're a little bit concise. Some people may have referred to them as snappy. So what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is, well, if you have Mercury square or opposite the midheaven in natal chart, one way it may manifest is that there may be a difficulty in terms of communicating, which is Mercury, about career-related matters, and the career, of course, is connected with the midheaven. Now, let's say if you have your midheaven in Taurus as an example, those career-related matters, maybe ones that are about persistence, patience, and perseverance. It may be a Taurus-related profession, whether it be something associated with the arts or geology, carpet laying, working as a stockbroker or pawnbroker, finance, banking, as some examples. If the let's say if the midheaven is in Aries, as another example, the career may be connected with the military or firefighting, arson investigation. It could be some profession or field associated with the head, such as helmet design, or it could be some involvement in combative sports, such as though the career may be connected with a combative sport, I would call it, which can include like karate, judo, boxing, wrestling, or even a volatile sport, which can include football or hockey as some examples. Now, for you, you have Mercury square or opposite the midheaven in a natal chart. Another way it may be expressed is that it could be hard to put the mind, which is Mercury, on one's, business or, one's livelihood, which is the midheaven. Now, the thing is, let's say, the midheaven is in the zodiac sign Cancer, as an example. The business, the livelihood, could be home-related, like a home-related business, or maybe doing something, Cancerian-related, whether it may be, work associated with cooking, culinary work, restaurant work, doing something with laundry or plumbing business, as some examples. Now, another thing too is that these aspects can indicate where there could be some trouble in terms of articulating and understanding, which is Mercury, those qualities that are difficult to suppress, which is the midheaven. Now, the thing is, if you have the midheaven in Aquarius, there may be some idiosyncratic qualities or bizarre, unusual qualities the person may have, being, just simply being either unorthodox or being that nonconformist. Those are things that, there may be difficulty in terms of actually, understanding and, what you may, in terms of trying to describe, that energy as well, to articulate it as an example. Now, another thing too is that siblings, cousins, and neighbors, which is Mercury, may not be compatible with that side as well. Now, let's say if the midheaven is in Leo, as an example, that side that may be difficult to suppress, maybe one that may appear, overly confident or, even arrogant at times, being overly, could be, just a little bit too self-assured for one's own good, feeling, acting superior, in some cases it could be a domineering, type of side that these people may not be compatible or in agreement with. Now, another thing about these aspects is that it may be rather inauspicious in terms of short journeys, which is Mercury, to business, government, political, which is midheaven, the midheaven venues. Now, the thing about this is that if you have say Mercury Pisces as an example, those short journeys may be ones that are very convoluted, chaotic. Maybe there's something, about maybe the conditions are foggy more often than not, or maybe there's a tendency to get lost, more so than most people, because Pisces is connected with confusion. And another thing too is that if you have Mercury or square or opposite the midheaven in a natal chart, another way it may be expressed is that it may be difficult in terms of forming, the ideas, which is Mercury, to improve one's social status and stature in life, which is the midheaven. Now, going back to the midheaven in Taurus as an example, the trying to improve one's social status and stature in life may be done in a very methodical, deliberate, and plotting, manner. Um, if the midheaven is in Aries, it may be done, by being more aggressive, but being, somewhat impulsive or impatient. Another example could be if you have the midheaven in Virgo. The things that someone may do to, try to improve, one's social status and stature in life could be, simply through a Virgo, like a field or profession, such as work as a dietitian, nutritionist, working in health and fitness, like a fitness instructor. It may be doing something, associated, being a veterinarian, working with pets. It could be something like a professional organizer, as some examples. Now, another thing too is that there may be, certain difficulty, trouble taking care of responsibilities, which is the midheaven. That's associated with communication, writing, and manual dexterity, which is Mercury. Now, the thing about this is, let's say, for example, if Mercury is in Sagittarius, writings may be connected with maybe about sports, the outdoors, religion, philosophy, higher education, simply expanding horizons, and maybe writings that are associated, with publishing, advertising, printing press operation, as some examples. Say if Mercury is in Libra, those writings may be, associated with, it could be modeling, maybe it has something to do with the law or art, which can cover a wide divergence of things, whether it be drawing, painting, or sculpting, as some examples. Now, another thing too is that Mercury, making a square or opposite to the midheaven in a natal chart, can also manifest in having trouble analyzing, which is Mercury, matters associated with, accomplishments and achievements, which is the midheaven. Now, let's say if you have the midheaven in Scorpio as an example, those accomplishments and achievements, they may be, tied in, with it could be doing something with psychology or locksmithing, forensics, investigation, embalming, working as a surgeon, things accomplished as a surgeon, a coroner, an investigator, as some examples. And the person, may be, very relentless in terms of accomplishing things if the person has the midheaven in Scorpio in their natal chart. Now, another thing too is that these aspects may not be overly auspicious or favorable. In terms of the early education, which is Mercury, may not have been overly auspicious or favorable for that rapport and the compatibility with mentors, which is the midheaven. Now, let's say, for example, if the midheaven is in, Aries as an example, mentors, the teachers there may be, one or more may have had an Aries sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody the characteristics of the sign. It could have been people that were, very aggressive, assertive, outspoken, Those that wouldn't mince words, those that could be very impatient and impulsive, as some examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Leonard saying stay well.